This is
Elizabeth Hendrickson.
Weinar. How you doing?
We're here to answer some questions, so thanks for joining us.
And here we go.
Here we go.
God help us all. Not one question. Don't be shy. Oh, there it is.
There we go.
Go ahead.
All right. Catherine M. asks, Billy, what was it like filming the accident on location? This is a great question. Thank you so much, Catherine.
It was definitely difficult. You know, we had all the factors that you're supposed to avoid when shooting. We had a child, we had a dog, we had the evening, and we had location. So by the time we actually got to the roadside scene, we had burned up quite a bit of time. So actually that entire bit was done pretty much in one take without rehearsals, just one after the other, kind of like one long take. And poor Delia couldn't be there because it was midnight and she had to go to school. So we had a stand-in. She was a bit older than Delia, and because I couldn't look at her, I had to pontificate to a rock. So it was a challenge, to say the least.
You never would have known that you were looking at a rock. You did a great job.
Oh, thanks, buddy.
Really did.
Beth T. asks, what were your thoughts when you read about Delia's death storyline?
Well, I knew that I was going to have to dig very, very deep, being that it's nothing that I could really connect to personally, not having a child or experiencing a loss of that magnitude ever. So I knew that it was going to be a challenge, and I also knew that that fans were going to be not very happy and outraged by it, but I knew that it was going to be a wonderful experience as an actress to challenge myself.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, yeah, I don't have kids, so it was difficult to come to work and try to find out. So let's pretend that the most horrible thing imaginable can happen to you, and what has to be the greatest connection between two human beings is severed, and let's just take our hearts out, throw it on the floor, and at the end maybe get a cup of coffee. Welcome to acting.
There you go. Didn't learn that in school.
No.
Alyssa A. asks, what's on your playlist at this exact moment? What's on my playlist?
I've got a big playlist. It's huge. Everything. Black Keys, B.B. King, SRV, old country, old school hip hop, Jay-Z. I love Jay-Z. Waylon Jennings, Arctic Monkeys.
That. Right now I'm really just still into Pandora, so my stations would be Kings of Convenience, someone just got me into, which is really, really great. I highly suggest it. Yeah, look it up. You'll like it. What else? I always love my solo piano for the morning with my coffee. The XX is great for evening and weekends. And
For evenings and weekends.
yeah, that's my top three. All right, next.
I like Jay-Z for evenings and weekends. Team Billy asks, Elizabeth, what will you miss most about playing a mom on the show?
Well, thank you, Team Billy, asking me that question, since you're a support of Victoria and Billy, so I appreciate that. What will I miss most about playing a mom on the show? Well, I'll miss being a mom. I'll miss having my daughter.
The kid.
You know. Well, I love working with kids on set. I think that your most natural instincts just come out. You're never really acting, because they aren't really. It's just very natural. So I have a lot of fun with her. She was getting a little tall, so I won't really miss that.
You're starting to feel threatened. She's getting closer and closer to eye level.
And that's about it. Except for the fact that it makes, having a kid on the show, you're just like, really great to have you. Go. Now I don't have to be a mom anymore.
So now I guess she has to become a mom. No pressure.
Yeah.
Is your mom watching this?
Oh, God.
No pressure.
Next question. Carly F. asks, if you could play another character on the show, who would it be?
Ooh, I'd be Esther. I would do a full Dustin Hoffman Tootsie, but I would be like a twisted Esther. I would mess with everyone in Genoa City. I would be just imagine Tootsie as Esther. Prodding people.
Gosh, what other character? I'd probably, maybe Josh Morrow's character. Just,
You like kissing a lot of girls?
yeah, I just kind of want to know what it's like to be just like, the most popular hunk on the show.
I'm like number 7.
Actually, I think you're number 1.
Nah. Ginny B asks, do you have any favorite behind-the-scenes memories of working with either Sophie or the twins who play Johnny? Yeah. First of all, Sophie's awesome. She's got a good one. Sophie's awesome. Lots of fun. She's ready to work. You better be. Johnny, the Johnnies, because they're twins, they will steal every scene you have because they know that they are better looking than you are. They are cuter. Women love them much more than they will ever love you. And they also know that they're going to be linebackers when they get bigger. And
so
you would just better recognize and let them do their thing. Plus, they talk to you and they're fun.
What about that one when he was like moving all of the wires on the floor?
Oh,
He was
yeah.
moving the cables.
He's hauling cables.
He's so cute.
But what's really cool, people don't know, there's a scene where he's coloring. That was the first time he's ever colored, and he just knew to grab the crayons and start coloring. His mom was going nuts in the background and made it on air, so it's a pretty cool moment.
Oh, that's so cool. One of my favorite moments with Sophie was when my character had to tell her that that Chloe and Cameron were breaking up, and I had quite a sexy outfit on, and she said, you know, that's not really appropriate for my mother to be wearing. Kind of looked down and realized I was like, oh my God,
She's
you're totally right.
What are you guys doing to me?
She had a lot of moments like that.
yeah.
She was
She's
so
very
great.
observant.
She really was. Erica asks, Billy, when are you going to join the land of Twitter?
All right. I get
Everyone
this
asks
question
every single day.
a lot. So I'm not the type of person to use the word never. Because who knows? I mean, the Luddite that I am, I might engage in Twitter when everybody else has moved on to something else. It would be like joining MySpace when everyone's on Facebook, so I would be Twittering to myself, I guess. But do you really want to know what I had for breakfast?
Yes,
I'll
they
tell
do.
you. I had a pressed juice for breakfast this morning. Does it matter? I mean, and I think...
Are you saying that you're not that exciting?
I'm not that exciting, but more importantly, I think
disagree.
for my purposes here, it doesn't serve me. I think sometimes what happens in Twitterdom or the Twitterverse, and it's a great tool, I completely get it. I just think that it kind of distracts from what we're trying to do here. And on a personal level, and as personal as I'll get with you, I don't like to... A lot of times you're looking for a compliment or you want somebody to tell you you're a great actor, which is fantastic, but I get really nervous when I get compliments.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of shut down, and it makes me really uncomfortable because I'm a weird individual. So it's not something that I would partake in. But I do really appreciate the interest, and I do very much enjoy the times when we do get to meet each other. And things like the Emmys, for me, because it's, adulation, it's when we're all kind of together celebrating us, that we're still doing this and we're pushing it forward. And if you're lucky, every once in a while you'll get a quick segment to say thank you to everyone that you work with and tell them how much you appreciate them. And I've been lucky enough to get to do that a couple of times, and that's important to me. That sort of compliment.
Well said. Well said.
Thanks, bud. What's next? Julia P. asks, now that Chloe has lost her only child, where do you see her going from here?
Yeah. Well, I'd like to see her go off the deep end. I'd like to see the old Chloe come back.
That's the shallow one for most of us.
I would like to see her lose it a little bit more. Obviously, she is in a different position. Not that it's any better, but your character still has a child that he can put all of his.
What does that mean?
focus.
You lose a kid, but it's okay, you got another one?
No, but you have something else to live for. She doesn't have much to live for right now. She's really not doing very well in the relationship department. She's having trouble figuring all of that out.
Starting to
So
feel bad for
I would really like to see how Chloe's struggle on her own plays out.
She could get a dog.
I don't think that would. That dog would be tied to the wall.
I guess Billy needs to tell Victoria that, I really think we should have Chloe over for dinner more often. She seems a little lost, like she might go into the deep end. Oh, this is your turn. You read.
Oh, okay. Elizabeth R. Hi, Elizabeth. Nice name. Asks, how do you drum up the emotions for this storyline? Fantastic work by all involved. Yeah, it was really difficult. I talked about it a lot with some family members. I talked about it with my mother. Asked, how she would handle something like this. And then I really, on a more personal level, did a lot of work on when I experienced loss for the first time as a young child, and not being able to say goodbye to that person and what that meant to me. So that's what I dug into.
Yeah, again, I don't have kids, but I have a wealth of these sort of events in my personal life. I think, I don't know if it was about drumming up the emotions, but being able to access something in the amount of time that we shot all these things one after the other, and you get dizzy. And there was some times when you're freaking out, you hope that you don't push it or ruin it, or just not be where you'd like to be. And I think we all did a great job. I've noticed when I'm actually personally really upset that I can't talk, and it goes up 5 octaves like this, which might be not so fun to watch, but at least it's how
real.
I deal with stuff. So.
Yeah, and also on top of that, I realized that when people said, what was the first thing that you thought when you got this storyline? Same thing that, we've been pretty much doing this about the same amount of time, and I just thought of all of the years of experience that we've had kind of led us up to that moment, because of all of the times that we've needed to do it in one take. And I just felt like that was kind of my whole 10 years of being on soaps, that all of that experience has led me. I just knew that I was going to be okay because I had all of that behind me. So I just kind of flew from there.
10 years? Where did you start at 13?
Damn it. Thank you. Yes.
I think I've got 5. Does anyone have to call you ma'am?
No.
Rosie asks, Liz, you have such a great fashion sense. We were just talking about this.
Like my bunnies, my kissing bunnies.
Has fashion been more than just an interest? Do you ever consider it a career?
Well, thank you. Yes, I've always had a thing for fashion, and I've never really always hit it on the mark. I look back and look at all of those horrible mistakes that I've made once before, like when we presented that year. Remember that hideous outfit? That wasn't supposed to happen, that outfit. But yes, it is more than an interest. As of right now, I have actually been styling a little bit on the side for one of the women that I've been buying all my vintage clothing for, and I'm finding a new creative outlet that is just really great and really fun, and it's nice to know that I can also do something else. Because for a while, it's hard when you're just like, this is all I can do. You're the same thing, You can run.
I don't even know how to dress myself. I can run what?
Restaurants.
Oh.
No, you don't want to talk about.
Oh, I could,
but it's nice to be able to do something else.
It is. Your turn, I think.
Okay. Angie asks, Billy, you seem to have a great sense of humor. Can you share any past on-set pranks? I'm sure you have a few.
On set? I don't know if you know this about me, but I'm a serious actor. I would not ever distract my fellow thespians while they're trying to work. Pranks? We don't do pranks around here.
Pranks here.
Well, recently, Melissa Claire Egan and I, we found a picture on the internet of Steve Burton. He might have been 12 or 21 or when he was first starting soaps, and he's, got that 80s soap thing where he's like just all shaved and oiled, and he's got, that surfer thing going. So we made about 200 copies and pasted them all over his dressing room, including the toilet seat. And but I
all
learned
over the studio.
Yeah, I learned that from Sarah Michelle Gellar. Actually, she got me that way too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So well, I can't tell you all of them.
Thomas P asks. Oh, I think this was you. Sorry.
You can do it. It's okay.
Out of all the different stories and scenes you played over the years, is there a moment that stands out as a personal favorite?
No. Not, but there are things that I remember, when I first got here, how warm Jeannie Cooper was, and how she eventually became a big mentor, not only in what I should be doing in this medium, but kid, what you should be doing in your life. And I was nervous when I first got here and was trying to act, and I remember when it finally just started sink in. And there's been some scenes where, you know, I'm completely different than this guy that I play in a lot of ways. And sometimes I sneak in there. I remember there was a scene, which is the dumbest thing I've ever done. The scene was they were taking away the child that I was trying to give to Victoria, and this place where Amelia went to with this just disgust and hate and hurt, and it I sort of resonate with those things of feeling ashamed and failing, and for whatever reason I decided to punch through the table.
Right.
But then I already broke the hand then, but then we had to do it again, and I got even more mad, so then I did it again and completely broke the hand, which taught me a few things. One being that table has been there for 30 years, and I've only been there a few. And it's much tougher than I am, and it's going to have a career long after me. But there was something real about that entire day, just listening and hurting and being in it. And it was about breaking the hand over, though I did go home with a cast. I don't know, I learned something about finding yourself and then also not punching the furniture. That's what I got.
Yeah. At least you're working out your rage on set and not in real life.
I go to the boxing gym.
I guess, yeah, I have a few. Actually, you didn't get to see it. I'm so sorry, but it was cut out of the show last week, where Chloe goes to say goodbye to Delia, and I think that it was a little bit too raw, and that show was very heavy, and they kind of needed to ease up a little bit. But it was the most intense experience I've ever had, almost an out-of-body experience as an actress. So if I can get a hold of it, I'll let you guys, maybe I can blast it out.
You're gonna sneak it?
I want to see it. I just want to see what it looked like.
Yeah, I'd like to see it.
All right.
Whatever. Alexandra L. asks, do you have any project... I'm going to try this again in English. I get paid to speak. I know it's odd. Do you have any projects going on outside of YNR?
Nope.
No?
I mean, aside from my styling stuff, but nothing acting-wise. You're a little busier than I am.
You know, there's a...
Or maybe you're just more talented.
I don't think so. I'm just lucky sometimes. I'm working on something right now, but we're not quite ready to talk about it. We'll see where it is going, and that would be great. But other than that, I've got a dog named Jones. He's a full-time project. Really, I just come here to afford him. That's what I do.
Right?
Yep.
Dog walkers, they all get me.
Dog.
All right. Karen M. asks, that little actress who played Delia was amazing. Do you miss working with her?
You know, but she kept taking my parking space. So, no.
You know what was so great? Remember when she first started, and she really never been on set before, and it got to the point after, I guess, her being on the show for a year or so, that she'd be on set, and she would be calling her mother for her sides, and she'd come there with her sides.
Oh, she was ready.
And just really know how to. Just watching her grow as an actress was a really incredible thing to watch. She enjoyed it so much, but she was really good at it, and it was always just so funny when she would, when she first started being, she'd be like, do you have any projects going on outside of YNR? And then slowly you watch her gradually be able to read it and then look up and, act. It was a really fun thing to watch. And she always said the funny, she really always put things into perspective for us.
Oh, yeah. And all the kids I love playing with the kids because, frankly, I am just a big kid.
Yeah, you are good with
I am.
kids.
Well, I just am a big kid. They're fun, and she
they like
was
you.
so sweet. Well, yeah, because we're on the same wavelength.
My favorite thing was when you're telling her to roll up the window in the car, and she says you make fun of her. Well, you mocked her.
Yeah, she got it right
for
back.
the F, and then you looked, and then she looked at me, and she was like, and it was just such a Billy Sophie moment. It wasn't even
she was so much
Billy
fun.
Delia moment. It was so great.
I miss seeing her in the morning because I'm not a morning person, and neither is she.
Yeah,
You
she's
see her all
not.
like she's
She
she's a
goes in her
child, and she's
pajamas.
like you want to
She's
give her a cup of coffee.
exhausted.
You're like, how are you? It's early. Yeah, I know it is. Just getting her hair done. Awesome.
That's so true. Okay.
Is it me? Grace W asks, "What's your favorite thing to do when you're not working?" Sleep is awesome.
I have a shopping problem.
Ooh. I box. I play with my dog Jones.
I work out a lot.
Clearly.
Dog a lot.
You have to pump. You
Iron.
Iron.
Yeah.
It's LA, man. There's a lot of fun things to do. The weather's great. Go outside and play.
Yeah, hang out with friends. Go out to dinner. You have. We used to be friends.
We used to be.
Jesus. Next. Oh, that's it. Josh M asks. I was
Josh
waiting for the
Morrow? Probably.
Probably.
Wait, hold on. This
Yeah,
is gonna
let's
be
see
weird.
what it is. Who don't you get to work with much that you'd like to have scenes with more?
I miss Mom. You know. Just,
Yeah, I miss working. I got
she's
to work with Jess a little bit in this storyline. Did
just
you?
Awesome. A little, and I hope to work with her more and more. But she's. She and my mom, when they met, my actual mom, got along great. And there's odd little bits I can see in both of them. It's funny, but she you can just likes to come in and just like, we just want to slap you, Billy. But she's so great. She's so there, and
Yeah.
great stories, and I miss working with her. And anytime I get to work with Peter is great.
I was gonna say Peter.
Yeah.
I miss working with Peter so much.
He got me today.
Your scenes
he
with
got me today.
with Peter last week
that was
were
fun.
really, really, really great.
Thanks.
Yeah, those were some of my favorites.
He's a talented actor, that Peter Bergman. I wonder how long he's been doing it.
All right.
John L. asks, has anything funny, unexpected ever happened while you were taping a scene? Amelia once, we were supposed to kiss, and she sneezed, coughed, or whatever, and a little snot went into my mouth. So now I think in many countries I might actually be married to her.
I once, when I was kissing, what was his name? Chance?
Oh, no.
What was his name? John
Driscoll.
John Driscoll, sorry. And I had some sort of lunch that had like a pink sauce in it. And before we had this sex scene and I had to go kiss him, I kind of vomited in my mouth. It was just kind of like, like a little regurgitation. And then Billy had to walk in the scene at the end of it, and we just really had trouble keeping it together.
Oh, I do remember the time that you had to slap me, and we had to do it over 4 times. And each time I was like, God, that little girl can hit hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then last week when I had or last month when I slap him in the scene in the hospital, our executive producer said, "Well, no, I don't think that you should slap each other." And for the first time ever, I said to him, "Yeah, maybe I shouldn't slap you this time." And he said, "Why stop now?" And I said, "Because I know that I'm going to hit you all the times I've hit you so hard. I know this one's going to be bad, but the method actors that we are, you let me." And she said, "Okay."
Was nothing
but I've
even
hit you a lot.
close to the one, that Halloween thing where I was like, I feel almost took out my teeth.
Yeah.
Anyway, enough of that abuse. Like Ike and Tina Turner over here. Kathy N. asks, Liz, what is it? What is that tattoo on your left wrist? Looks like the number 74.
It is. It's number 74, and it has 74 degrees is what it is. Sometimes I just tell people that it's the average temperature of Los Angeles, which is a stupid joke, but when people see it's just not fun explaining. It's like, oh, what do you do? And you don't like explaining what you do. It is a friendship tattoo between me and my girlfriend from home.
Is she 74 years old?
She is, no, it's degrees. She's 40. Her number is 42. Hers is 42, and is the latitude and longitude of in which we lived at the apartment together. And it was a defining year of my life. Is kind of the way it was, like where everything changed. September 11th happened that year. I got all my children that year. She and I met each other that year, and has been the closest thing to me, is like a real sister. So it was a very poignant year in my life, and in that apartment, the worst apartment I've ever lived in. So we decided to put it on our bodies.
Good story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The funny thing is that my birthday is 7/3, and if I would have just done kind of one
lied a
morning,
little
lied
bit.
a little bit,
Lie a little, just
then
fubbed it.
for later on, I don't think that we won't ever be friends together, but it could have a double meaning.
Could
'Cause-
black it out and put a 3 just in case you guys break up.
Yeah.
Oh.
No, we won't. Erica K asks, if you were going to write a memoir, what would be the title?
They told me not to do it,
No.
but I did it anyway.
I think mine would be in memory of Jeannie Cooper. Mine would be Little Ho.
Be a big book,
Or, yeah, no, it'd be a big book.
baby. Moving on.
Or big things come in small packages.
Yep.
That's what my mom always told me when I was a kid, and I would show up and I would say, little things come in big packages, and then kids would laugh at me. Moving on. Brittany asks,
feel so bad
what
for this person.
inspires you both as actors?
Ooh. I think you're supposed to take a little bit of inspiration from everything around you every day. I think if you're just worried about being an actor, you're going to be a very shallow and sad person. There's a lot to do out there. So we're just lucky enough to have this medium to work in. I know it seems like I'm evading a question because there's too much to answer. It's everywhere, in the music and the food you eat and the places that you get to walk through and the experiences that you get to have, positive and negatively. It's a really great gift to be able to do this for a living.
Yeah, I agree. And I really just describe it as a gift. It was just something that existed within me that I didn't know how to not do it. And as I continue to, I loved it more and more. And it grows and it changes and it evolves. So I'm excited to see what's in store for myself and all of us as we continue our journey as actors, because it's a growing thing.
I'm thinking about going to class because I haven't quite figured out the whole acting
Right.
bit of it, but
Yeah.
I'm trying so
I
hard.
gotta get back in class. Okay. Oh, definitely Nessie. Mayor asks, who's smarter, Jones or Nessie?
No way.
Are you kidding?
Nessie hates Jones, and Jones is the most
Yeah,
lovable
because
dog in the
she's
world.
smart.
No, she's just, there's a word for her.
Jones is kind of like, just hopped off the short bus. It's not like he means.
You know what? Jones is going to be on the cover of Fido magazine in December. Where's Nessie?
But listen, Jones is much
Oh.
nicer. He's
Well,
a big bear. But
a grizzly
he doesn't
bear is
know
nicer than your dog. Oh, I love Nessie.
Nessie's awesome.
Nessie likes people. She doesn't.
Yeah,
she likes,
it's true.
Jones
She
is
likes
just
people.
be like, hey guys, and he comes running in, and not everybody appreciates that.
Yeah, and Nessie's a little bit old. Nessie's also older, so she's kind of like the old lady, and she's like, "Excuse me, back up! You're slobbering all over me."
My dog also weighs more than she does, so
That's very true. I think Nessie weighs more. Yeah, Nessie's pretty big.
she's tall. Last question. Diana B asks, what would you like to see your characters do that you haven't got to do yet on the show? Well, here's something that's interesting. When Billy first got on the show, he was a bit of a bad boy, he devil may care attitude. It was a lot of fun, but to me, when someone's like that, there's something behind it that we're going to get to. And in recent years, year and a half, 2 years, Billy has become something they haven't quite recognized. He could be sometimes a bit too much of the village idiot, and sometimes humor moved a little too far into what could be construed as silly. I think if anything is going to come out of this tough storyline, that maybe we're going to find out what was behind that sort of behavior when he first got on, and become more of a realize his potential.
I like that. That's a good answer.
Thanks.
Gosh, that was really good. God, what I'm trying to figure out. I mean, I guess the one thing that I haven't seen Chloe do, and I'm sure this has a lot to do with the way that I am, the way that Elizabeth comes through Chloe, but I would like to see a little bit more of the grown-up version of Chloe. I wouldn't mind seeing her with an older man.
74 years old?
Not that old. But I would really like to see her with. I just want to see her like
With Victor
running it
Newman.
with men.
Running it with men?
Running it with men.
Like running it?
Like,
You want to open up a brothel in New Orleans? Okay.
Yep,
I mean,
that's
not
good.
that we actually
I would
get a
like to
chance
see Chloe, yes,
say what
running
we're
a
gonna
brothel.
do. They don't really ever call me into the writer's room and say, do you want to sign off on this? Do you want to do this? Have you been asked
I
for
would,
that?
I
No,
would just
neither.
like to see her a little bit, just a little more mature. I can't even answer this question.
So you want her to be a mature
I want to be mature, and I can't
brothel
even
owner
answer the question in a mature
and
fashion.
run men. Please excuse my friend. She's had too much coffee and too little
Oh
food
my
today.
goodness. It's very hot under these lights. Are you?
See what it says right
Oh,
there?
okay,
1,
thanks for
2,
your
3.
questions.
Thanks for all your questions.
Keep
watching
watching
Y&R.
Y&R.
It's been a lot of fun.
We love you. Thank you.
Have a good day.